Right. Let's get this done so we can both have our dinner.
Yes. Yes, we can.
Oh, um, just really one topic to discuss tonight, which is kind of motivation and or lack of. We were just saying before I press record that we're both feeling the same in that it's just not there at the moment.
I missed a couple of training sessions this week because I've just been so tired. Like work's been busy, the weather's been miserable. Yeah. And I've just gone, do you know what? I'm tired. I don't
Yeah,
want to do it.
yeah,
So yeah, I think there's a lot of people in the same boat. I've seen another coach on Instagram today saying like they're really struggling, like a bit of burnout going on,
yeah.
and just I think everyone's sort of in the same boat from what I can see. It's tough this time of year, isn't it?
It's really tough, and I think that's the first thing is just say that it's normal.
Yeah.
It is normal, and I so I've been doing this job for like this is my 10th year. And it's something that I see every single time of year, every single year at this time of year.
Mhm.
When you think about it, there's towards the end of year, you've got illnesses. I mean, there's a horrible cold
Yeah,
going
yeah.
around. I mean, it's been in the press about the flu
Yes, it was
virus.
in the news. Yeah.
You know, some of the NHS, well, the NHS is saying it's basically at critical capacity already. So
Mm.
flu's horrible. People are picking up colds and bugs. They're tired. This time of year, when I've had check-ins with clients, they're busy because people are ill, so they're doing more work. They've got pressure of trying to get stuff done before Christmas because everybody kind of has a week or so off. Well,
Yeah.
not everybody, but a lot of people have a week or so off. The ones that work in public services, it's crazy for teachers. It's anybody who's in education or around working around that. You've got performances, you've got um, there's staff parties going on.
Yeah.
Anybody who works in the health profession, like carry and redo, it's just an absolute. So the pressure and stuff is real. It's really real. And you know what? Just be accept that it's going to happen, and it is tough. Um, and be kind to yourself. I think that's ultimately it. It's just to be kind to yourself. We've got dark nights. The weather's pretty horrendous.
Yeah.
It would be all right if it was cold and snowy, but it's not. It's cold, miserable, and wet. And that does play a big role. It does play a massive role in it. And don't try and avoid. I think that's the key thing is don't try and kind of think you're doing anything wrong. Don't try and avoid these feelings of lack of motivation or feeling tired or lacking of energy. Work with them, right? I think we have this tendency, and I do it, and I know you do it. If we feel guilty, or gone dark and
Yeah.
mad again, we do.
Got sparkles.
Yeah, I got sparkles and everything. We feel guilty. We get that initial kind of, and I still do. But I think one of the things I would say is that very quickly realize there's nothing to feel guilty about, right? It's
Yeah.
perfectly normal. If you understand that there's nothing wrong with you and that it is a normal feeling, I think that helps to kind of remove that guilt. And just understand that it's all right to maybe take, it's going dark again, maybe take the foot off the pedal. I need to stop putting my thumbs up. It's all right if you take your foot off a pedal a little bit,
Yeah.
certainly over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And we said that, I said that to everybody when I was having the conversations before this block, and I've said it to a lot of in-person clients as well. This month, certainly through to January, if you can maintain the majority of what you're doing, and
Yeah.
work on the days where things can be as normal as possible, stick to your routine, do as much as you can. That's absolutely fine. You've got to, I think you have got to give yourself a little bit of slack. Um, it's there's loads of science behind this as well.
Mhm.
Darker days, so we've got less sunlight.
Yeah.
We're going to have less vitamin D. So between October and March, we don't get enough sunlight to kind of make the vitamin D ourselves. Not that we get a huge amount of sunlight in the UK anyway. Um, that's going to, I mean, the symptoms of low vitamin D, low mood, lower energy, lots of kind of things where you are feeling tired. And this is why we say supplement with vitamin D. Everybody really in this country should be taking vitamin D 1 to 2,000 IU per day certainly between October and March. And I don't know about you, but I take it every day anyway.
I do, yeah, yeah. They're by the kettle, so I don't forget.
Yeah. So take your vitamin D. You know, because of the way that we've got less sunlight, it's going to affect our body's natural rhythm. So we're controlled by loads of different hormones and things. So things like serotonin, melatonin, that's going to be that's going to be affected by the sunlight, and it's going to impact on like your sleep patterns. It's going to impact on your energy levels. So you've got to accept that it's going to happen. We're going to have more parties, more social occasions around this time of year. Have you had your Christmas party yet?
Um, uh, yes, but I didn't go.
Ours is this Saturday, and I'm not going. Yeah, uh,
I went for a swim instead.
yeah. My social battery, and this is the other thing. My social battery is completely drained, and
And it's okay to say no. Like you
yeah,
don't have to go to all of them. Like pick the ones that are important. Like, well, I think I had, yeah, it was the day after the Christmas do. I went for brunch with my sister, and to me, that was a more important catch up than going to my Christmas party. Like there'll be certain events that you won't want to say no to, and there's others that if you're a bit like, oh, I don't mind if I miss it, don't go. Like, don't try and overload yourself.
yeah, and don't feel obliged to
No,
and you've got to kind of, I think you've got to protect yourself. So if you've
100%.
got lots of things, sometimes you just don't feel guilty about it. Sometimes you just got to go, do you know what? I can't. I just
Yeah,
can't. I need to give myself a bit of time, get my pajamas on, sit in front of a cheesy Christmas film, which is my absolute go-to to kind of unwind at the moment, and uh, just relax. So absolutely. And you've also got to understand that before we had electric light and before we had houses and all this sort of stuff, when we lived in caves to kind of set the scene, um, we didn't really go out. People just they stayed around the campfire. They hibernated. People did hibernate, and there's that natural kind of tendency to want to do that.
yeah.
It is kind of ingrained into us that when it's cold, when it's dark, we want to stay in. So if you feel like actually, I just want to get my pajamas on and go to bed at 9 o'clock, do
Do
it.
it. I said this to my friend today. I was like, I really wish I was a bear. Like,
Yeah.
just eat, fill up, and then just sleep. Like,
And absolutely, and it's perfectly normal. It is ingrained into us. There's
yeah,
lots of things that kind of psychologically, physiologically will make us want to do that. And that's
yeah,
going to have knock-on effects to all sorts of stuff in terms of like this motivation, in terms of the drive to want to go and do stuff. So it's absolutely normal to feel that, right? But what you've also got to remember is that, you
we
know,
need to move.
we do need to move and we need to move. And one of the things that I want to kind of just remind everybody of is that we need to remind ourselves of what it is that we're wanting to achieve, what it is that we want to become. I talk a lot about sort of identity driven behaviors. And you know, if you want certain, rather than focusing on the outcomes and the goals, focus on what it is you want to be. um one of my clients, Lisa, who you know as well, she uses the phrase manifestation. Like she says, I'm going to manifest what I want to be. The phrase I use is fake it till you make it.
Yeah,
Behave like the person you want to be as best as you can. And if your goal is to be fitter, healthier, maybe drop a few pounds, be stronger, then you have to behave like that person. Obviously, within the realms of kind of the energy levels and stuff that we're sort of got at the moment. So, and prime example today, I was just saying to you before the call, I was coming back from the gym in Stoke on the way home. I had an hour and a half. I thought I had 2 hours, but somebody turned up early, so I had an hour and a half. Um, and I didn't want to, but I drove past the gym, so I'm like, look,
Um,
just go in and do something. And I did a 45-minute workout, and I felt better for it. I felt tired, but I felt better for it. And I also, um, it made me feel good that I actually did it when I didn't want to. Did I push myself to my absolute max? No, but I still did something. I moved. I worked hard. I did work hard. It felt hard. I can certainly feel it in my lats at the moment. So, actually kind of think about what it is that the person you want to become and then manifest those behaviors. Yeah. So think about what your identity is. What is it that you want to be? What are the behaviors and the habits of that person? And do them because that's what brings the goals and the outcomes. Okay. So, think about what you want to be. You're a strong person. What do strong people do? They go to the gym. Yeah. And they don't go to the gym every single day, but they go to the gym and they push themselves when they're in the gym. You're somebody who wants to be just generally healthy.
yeah.
So it could be that requires like eating healthily. So that you maybe plan your food. You might make better choices when you go to the supermarket to get the meals, or when you're going out, you make slightly better choices. So think about what it is that you want to achieve, manifest that within yourself, and then the behaviors come from it. All right. So that's one of the first things. The second thing is momentum. Momentum versus motivation.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we say? Motivation is, it's not always going to be there.
No, it will come and go. And
Yeah.
that's like we always say, like build your strong routine and
Yeah.
try and stick to it as best as possible because you're not always going to be motivated. Like we said, especially this time of year, it's so difficult. Whereas yeah, sometimes you just gotta keep yourself going.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably better than me to answer this one because you, uh, you always impress me. And, you might not hear this enough, but I know
Oh,
Tom.
I actually don't.
I know Tom will probably say this to you as well, but the fact that you, with your training and stuff, you're really consistent. And you said before the call that you're not motivated to do it all the time. Like you said already, you've missed a couple of training sessions.
Yeah.
So what do you do that helps you sort of get back? If you've missed one, what do you do to kind of get back into it?
Yeah, so like Monday I missed my swim, but I was so tired that I thought actually I don't think it's going to be a good idea. Swims haven't been going well anyway, and I thought this is not going to go well if I'm tired. I don't need to drown tonight. But then I thought, right, it's that whole don't miss twice. So for me, that meant that Tuesday, absolutely non-negotiable. No matter how I felt, I had to get on the bike.
Yeah,
Um, and again, I didn't want to, but in my head, I was like, right, even if I can do 10 minutes and then get off, it's fine. It was just an easy 60-minute ride. So just literally legs ticking over.
yeah,
I watched some bits on YouTube, got on the bike. I was like, right, 10 minutes. And actually, once you've done 10 minutes, I'm like, well, I'm already here now. May as well keep going. And sometimes that can just trick your body into just completing it.
yeah,
I do it in the pool all the time. I'm like, oh, well, let me just do this 100 meters and then I can get out. And I'm like, oh, well, I've only got like 300 left. I may as well, and actually you can just build it up that way. Oh, actually, I could do another,
yeah.
I could do another set. I could do another rep, and just keep pushing yourself that way. Um, and then tonight I've had the green light from physio to start running again. So
Really?
I know couch 5K week one. So we're starting at the beginning again. But I was like, right, I'm going to get out tonight because I want to get 2 runs in this week. So it's going to have to be tonight. And I got out of work and I went, oh, this is going to be cold. This is going to be really cold. And I thought it'll, I'll enjoy it. And I had to trick myself into being like, you're going to have so much fun. And then Tom actually surprised me and came home. And he came out with me. And actually, he told me it was the best running he's ever seen me do. So just goes to show maybe we are building. But it is just that, like, set yourself a non-negotiable, and tell yourself like actually, like it works with that identity. I want to compete in more races next year. I
Yeah,
want to be able to get to that finish line. This is what I need to do to get there. If you want to build strong muscles, if you want to lose body fat, this is what you've got to keep doing.
yeah,
Um, And again, like I say, it's the same with food. Like this time of year, all you want to do is just sit, hot chocolate, cozy up, have those sweet treats. There you go, well set. I've got my advent calendar. But and there's like more treats around. There's more like you've got the Christmas chocolates out, you've got the mince pies, you've got this, you've got that. I'm
Stolen.
not saying don't have them. Stop. There you go. Whatever it is, it's not to say like don't have it,
Yeah.
but just think how that's fitting into your daily lifestyle and actually make it fit. If you want to have that mince pie, account for it. That's fine.
Yeah, I
Have
think
some
that's
veg with it. Have some
important.
fruit. Not, don't have veg with mince pies, but have like some fruit with it as well. Like, and plan your meals to make sure you're including veg. Like I put the post in last night where I had my meatballs and I just chucked loads and loads of veg in,
Yeah.
whole wheat pasta, and just really think, how is this working with my identity? Like, what is it that I want to achieve? And even if it sounds really silly, but picture yourself there. Picture the version of you that's achieved what you want to achieve,
Yeah.
and be able to think, God, I'm going to be so proud when I can look back. That will also really help. But yeah, that's not to say we're motivated all the time, but that's kind of my little things. I'm like, I can't miss twice. I've missed one session, not missing it again.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think you've hit a couple of things there. So it's don't miss twice. You've you've broken it down into
yeah,
like really
little
small.
chunks.
Yeah.
10 minutes. I'll just do 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's like when you're running, you kind of when you're running, you go, I'll just run to the next lamppost. Oh, I've made it
Yeah,
this far, I'll go to the next one, and you just keep going, and it is psychological. You are tricking yourself
100%.
into doing it, but it's making it breaking it down into the the, the smallest possible chunk where actually you can't fail,
Yeah,
and that's where you build momentum. So they call it the 2 minute rule. What can you do in 2 minutes? And it could be for exercise, it could be that while the kettle's boiling 2 minutes, you do some press ups against the side in
yeah,
the kitchen and you do some squats and
yeah,
you do 10 of each and you keep going round until the kettle's boiled. That's 2 minutes of exercise that you wouldn't have normally done. And people might go, well, what's the point? It's like, well, you're doing nothing otherwise.
yeah,
Something is always better than nothing. And actually, it might be that, you know what, I feel better. And you might surprise yourself and you go, well, I'll keep, well, I just want to I do 20 press ups. Oh, let's get to 30.
yeah. You just keep
Um,
going. Like you think, oh,
yeah,
well, hang on, I've done 25 now, five more and I'm at 30. Like you can just, like say, break it down.
yeah,
And I think, like you say, a lot more of it is psychological than anything. Like you and your body are far stronger than what you believe in.
yeah.
And I think that is so true for everyone. And actually, just changing it in your brain to know that you can do it, it that's where it is. It's more your brain that will stop you way more than your
And
body.
it once you start doing that, it then becomes habit. So there's a simple one that I do. Every week I'll buy a dozen eggs and I'll boil them. As soon as I get in, we go to the supermarket on a Sunday, buy the eggs, and as soon as I get in, I'll just stick them in a pan and boil them. It takes, put it in water, takes 15 minutes to boil the eggs, and then I'll just let them cool down. And even if turn it off and let them cool down in the pan, and even if we then go, oh, we've got to go out and do something, they're done. And that is it.
Yeah,
The amount of effort it takes, it's 1 minute to put the pan in the eggs and put the water in, turn it on. I can do whatever I need to for 15, set a timer on my watch for 15 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever it is. Go and do whatever, buzz, turn the heat off, and then let them leave them in the pan. And
yeah,
but all I've done there is like I've prepared some protein snacks. And I'm not saying everybody should boil eggs, but it's just a really simple example. The other one I do is most weeks will have like a roast Sunday dinner or something. There's always leftover chicken. So I prep, and I did it this week and I put them up on my stories. I prepped two lots of protein. So I did
I
like
saw them.
chicken Caesar protein filling and a kind of a ranch style one with cucumber.
Yeah,
And then it's just kind of right, couple of dollops of that in a wrap. There you go, lunch sorted for
you're
tomorrow.
done.
And it is just simple things like that that then become habit. Like you taking your supplements in the morning, like you said, you always take your supplements in the morning because they're out by the kettle and you don't miss them and see them. So just think about what your your baseline, minimum basic habits are and stick with those. Because if you can keep those going, even if everything else goes to shit, You know, you've got
Yeah.
those basic things, and that's the key thing. I always do planning. I would do meal planning on a Sunday morning, always.
Yeah.
Um, even if I can't get to the supermarket, I always, and we've said this before, I look at the week ahead. Is it busy? What do I need to do? So I plan my meals. If on a Sunday we've got the boys and we're going out early or we're out all day and I haven't got a chance to go to the shop, I plan that in. I think about it. I'm thinking, right, I
Yeah.
haven't got time to go to the shop to get what I need. So I think about, right, when can I go shopping? I'm lucky in that I get the chance to do it on a Monday afternoon. I can
Yeah.
I can squeeze an hour in on a Monday afternoon where I can go shopping. But if it has to be a Monday evening, build that in, factor that in so that, right, I'm going shopping on a Monday evening, which means I need to get maybe a really quick ready meal dinner, loads of good options. We've mentioned them before. That's going to be our dinner. And then I can make stuff that's dead simple to cook for the rest of the week. Um, but yeah, plan ahead and then think actually planning and prepping where you can, but planning and having an idea of what's coming up is key. And the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature. Like I say, I get up before everybody else. While I'm having my coffee, I've got my iPad out, get my iPad out. There we go, trying to yank the cable out and everything. And I just type it all up on my notes and it's there so that when I go to the shop, I've got my shopping list, bang. And it's something people are like, oh, that must be up, you're organized. It's just second nature now. The more you do it, the more it becomes ingrained. But yeah, there's lots of things around the habits. So just a couple of hints and tips, evidence-based hints and tips. First thing, this doesn't necessarily work for me because I get up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, so it's still dark. But one thing I always make sure I try and do is when it is light, I will try and get outside to get some light. That helps with the circadian, like on that body's natural rhythm. It really does help set that. I do have a daylight lamp. I actually have a day lamp, which means that we know I do get some kind of, it's artificial, but it's some sunlight and it
Yeah.
does help me. Um, I know that's anecdotal, but there is some evidence to suggest that getting the right sort of light in, it helps reset stuff. It sounds like Lando's barking. Um, so yeah, get outside where you can. I think it's trying to make sure that you are warm in the morning as well, because if it's cold outside, you're
Yeah.
not going to want to get out of bed. So,
Horrible.
make sure you got your dressing gown somewhere, get the kettle on to warm yourself up. That will help with things. I have a morning mobility routine. I have a morning mobility routine. So I get to the gym a good 15, 20 minutes before my first client, and I try and do, and it's only 5 minutes. If anybody wants to look it up, you can search it on YouTube. It's called The World's Greatest Stretch. And I just do 5 minutes of that, and it gets me moving. And it works really well. I'd do it at home. If I didn't have to get out of the house within 20 minutes of waking up, I would do it at home. But I get to the gym, do it before clients. Movement, that helps to kind of get things going. It helps increase your dopamine and your serotonin in your brain, which means that you're going to be more alert. I think the key one for me as well is prep the night before. I
Yeah.
get up, quick wash, dressed, grab my stuff, go. And the only way I can do that is that I have all my clothes laid out the night before. I have my supplements on the side. I've pre-made, put the coffee and stuff in. So all I got to do is boil the kettle and put it in. I get my meal prep bag ready. So all I've then got to do is shove all the stuff in the cooler
Yeah.
bag and it's all sorted. For me, prepping the night before is absolutely key. Um, yeah, I put a little tip on there. One of the other things I've suggested this to a client this week. She says she always snoozes. I said, have you got a shelf or something you can put your alarm clock on the other side of the room? She went, yeah, let's do it. Uh,
Yeah.
because then you've got to get out of bed to actually knock the alarm off. And once you're out of
I
bed,
always say that about hotels. When they're like, oh, hotels don't have plugs next to the bed, I'm like, can't snooze my alarm though, because I'm up.
yeah,
That's it. I've had to walk. I'm out.
I
Like,
I've done it myself. I don't do it anymore. because if I do it and I don't get to the alarm clock fast enough, my life is not worth living. So I, I live with somebody who is definitely not a morning person. She doesn't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning either. So me waking her up at 5 o'clock in the morning is not a good idea. But if you can do, put your alarm
Yeah.
clock on the other side of the room. But yeah, it's prepping everything. You know, my breakfast is in the fridge, so I could just grab and go. I've got everything ready, water bottle ready, kettle filled, coffee already in, so I just pour it in, prep it. And then the other side of it as well is that sleep, prioritize your sleep at this
Yeah.
time of year. You know, and it's easier said than done, especially with social occasions. But if you can, maybe move your bedtime 15, 20 minutes earlier. That's all. Start your bedtime routine. Have that good routine. We switch the telly off a good 30, 45 minutes before we go to bed. And then we start the routine. So I make sure I get stuff prepped and we go to bed. And then within sort of 10 minutes of getting in bed, lights are out and we're asleep. Work on that. And it's hard, especially with FOMO, you know, fear of missing out. Um, but
Yeah.
absolutely just do not disturb on your phone. You
Oh
know,
yeah, I love that. Mine automatically turns on at 9 o'clock.
yeah,
Best thing ever.
yeah. So do not disturb on your phone, so people can't ring. There are apps you can get that will switch your social media apps off, so you don't get notifications and you can't access them. That sort of stuff. It's so that you're not sat there at night scrolling through your phone because the light from your phone, it's stimulation. That
Yeah.
is going to make it much harder to switch off. So do try and do those sorts of things. And it is tough because, you know, people are like, oh, well, yeah, but it's my relaxation. Read, read
Yeah.
a book or journal, and it's anything. Try something. Um, it could be reading, it could be journaling, it could be doing a hobby before you go to bed for 15 minutes, crocheting, quilling. I've got a client who's doing quilling at the moment. If you don't know what that is, go and Google it. I didn't know what it is until she showed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, do anything like that, just something that gets you away from the screens, um, so that you're limiting kind of that blue light exposure. But ultimately, just be kind to yourself.
Yeah. It's tough this time of year. It's so tough. And like I said, there's so many people struggling. And it's knowing when to push yourself through it
Yeah.
and when to take that step back. But you really need to be honest with yourself because there will be days where you've got to be like, is it just that I can't be bothered, or am I genuinely exhausted? If it's just that you can't be bothered, suck it up and do something. Like I say, if you just say, fine, I really don't want to, let me do 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you're like, I actually just need to go to bed.
Yeah.
Monday I was in bed at 8:30. Like I knew swimming was the wrong choice. Sleep was needed. And just be really honest with yourself. Have that check-in. If it's just that you really are not in the mood, just do something, whatever that could be.
Minimum amount. And
Yeah,
if you're ill,
yeah,
so before we talked about training
yeah,
when you're ill. If you're ill,
yeah,
rest
yeah,
because all you're going to do if you're trying to push yourself, and I know the guilt's real, especially when you're kind of thinking, I should be doing this. If you're poorly, don't because you're just
yeah,
going to make yourself worse. So
yeah.
this is me and Alice giving you permission to rest, right?
To
Absolutely.
rest, absolutely. Get an early night.
Early night, plenty of hydration, get some good nutrition down you because that is going to help, but rest, and make sure that you are just recuperating. And
Yeah,
it's normal at this time of year to need longer rest times. One of the things I do in the winter, I tend to, certainly this time of year, I will train less. So in the
yeah,
summer, I can push myself. I can do 5 or 6 workouts a week. Um, in the winter, 3 or 4. And I
yeah,
don't feel guilty about that. And actually, this is the ironic thing. I did a push session on I did legs on Sunday and a push session, upper body push on Monday. I'd not trained Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, so I'd had 4 days rest. I'd done Sunday, Monday, Tuesday the week before, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday off, just because of work and time commitments and stuff. and I did a Sunday leg workout and an upper body push, and I've done pull today. And even though I didn't feel it today and I didn't mass, I still lifted quite. I did two reps at 200 kilos, which
Yeah.
I've not done in a little while. It's not my highest, and I could have probably lifted a bit heavier, but I still felt good and I felt strong. So rest actually helps. Listen to your body. Yeah. So absolutely. I'm trying to read my notes. What have I put? Yeah. So it's that was it. Aim for compassionate discipline, not punishment.
Yes.
I don't know why I wrote that down. That was a bit of a genius movement. Um, but yeah, it's just be kind to yourself. If you're trying to avoid it because you can't be bothered, do something, just a small amount, because something is better than nothing. If you're genuinely tired, and we talked about burnout before we came on the call,
Yeah.
and recognize the symptoms of that. If you're tired, if you sleep suffering, if your appetite's all over the place, you are genuinely tired. Rest, all right. And if you're poorly, rest. Let yourself recover. You're not going to do yourself any favors by pushing. Um, but when you are feeling better, go for it. So yeah, it's normal. I think the key thing
Yeah.
that it's absolutely normal. And one of the thing was like, what are your tips for being motivated? I think the key things are break things down to the smallest chunk that you can. Start small and build. So as you said, do 5 minutes because you end up doing longer anyway.
Yeah.
Um, check in with yourself. I like that way that you said, check in with yourself. Are you tired, or is it that you genuinely tired? Do you need to rest, or is it that you just lack motivation? If you need to rest, rest. If you lack motivation, go back into that.
5 minutes,
Yeah, five
something.
minutes.
Yeah.
Do something. If you can't get to the gym, go for a walk. Do something at home, whatever. Um, and build. Do those small things. And I know from my point of view, certainly with my ADHD, small tasks, pick your quick wins, whatever it is. Like that's why I boil the eggs. I boil the eggs because it's a quick win. It's 1 minute, boiled, done, and I've achieved something. And then I kind of think, oh, I'll just do something else.
Yeah.
Just I'll
I'll
shove
just
a
prep
load of
that now.
chicken.
Yeah.
I'll do my protein, and then it's like, oh, I've done that, so I'll prep my slow cooker meal for the day after. So start small, and that momentum builds, and it's amazing, how much it does build over time.
Yeah.
But ultimately, focus on what your anchor habits are. What are your key things? Is it prepping the night before? Is it making sure your supplements are out? Is it having your gym kit laid out the night before so that you can put it in your or have it packed by the door so you can take it with you? What are your baseline habits? What are your minimum anchor habits? And keep sticking to those. If that's all you do, that's great,
Yeah.
because you're doing something. And as I said, well, we both said on these calls before, if you're doing something, you're already well above the average.
Yeah. And think like before you started, what would you have done? If the answer is nothing sat in front of the telly, and now you're like, well, I've been out for a walk for 10 minutes, that's still 10 minutes more than you were doing before. And it's like I say, picture where you want to be,
Yeah.
picture that person, but also look at where you were before and how far you've already come to see how much you're building is essentially the other thing.
And the last thing I'll say as well is that, if those of you on the Shape Up stuff, if you on the Shape Up program, if you need a call just to talk things through,
Yeah.
or get reassurance or get some um, motivation, book a call. Book a call next week, um, and have a chat through things. What are your concerns? What are your excuse me, my voice going. What are your concerns? What are your worries? What are the things that you are struggling with? What are your barriers? Let's have a chat through them. Let's see what strategies we can put in place to overcome those barriers, and ask for help. That's what coaching is there for. Coaches are there to help you navigate through the difficult times. So you book that call in if you need to. I've got time next week.
I've got time.
Alice has got time next week.
I've got time.
Give us a shout and we'll
Yeah.
book. calling it, and we can help you navigate your way through. Seeking help is not failure.
100%. Yeah. That's like you say, it's what we're there for.
Yeah.
Use
And
us.
yeah, and coaches have coaches.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I'm potential. I am actually looking for a coach. This is me kind of being transparent. I want to, in January, I want to kind of push on with training. I want to kind of be held accountable to just try and get in shape for summer.
Yeah.
No, I've done really well at maintaining weight this year. That was, I tell you what, that was, I saw, this is just an aside, this is me going off on a tangent. I saw a really great post. I think it was by Josh Hills, about influencers. This is an interesting one. Influencers who
I
say
know
that
who you
they
want.
maintained body weight, but then announce that they're on a cut.
And they're just in a binge restrict
Yeah.
cycle, like constantly bouncing through. Yeah.
And do you know what? I that made me reflect because I've this year I've not really done a cut or anything like that. And I was almost feeling like I'm a coach. Should I be cutting? Should I be bulking? And do you know what? I've maintained my weight within a kilo either side of a particular weight really well this year. Not I've tracked a little bit, but not particularly. I start it and then think I can't be bothered with it. I've kind of relied on baseline habits, and it part of it was intentional to kind of show to myself that what I
Can
what
do
I,
it.
what I coach and what I preach and what I teach works.
Yeah.
Does, and I've maintained this weight for the entire year and not really shifted from it. And I kind of think, oh, should I cut? And then no, can't be bothered. So that's fine. But in January, I do want to kind of um, just drop a little bit of weight. More in is, I'm going to be honest, it's purely for vanity reasons.
There
It's
you go.
nothing wrong with that. I've got my why. It is purely vanity reasons. I want to kind of just it's to challenge myself, to push myself, to see what I can do. It's not because I'm unhappy. I don't think I'm going to be happier, leaner. Just want to challenge myself a little bit to kind of push myself. So I don't think I can do it on my own. So I am looking for a coach, and I've spoken to a couple of the PTs that I work with to see who would be best to coach. So we have coaches. I know you've got a coach,
Yeah. Yeah. Some weeks I hate him. Sometimes it's fine.
but well, yeah, I'm used to being hated. Coaches need coaches, so it's perfectly normal to need that coaching just to help push you through.
Yeah.
So absolutely reach out if and anybody who's not on the Shape Up program and wants to kind of have some coaching, drop us a call, drop us a message, and yeah, we can see what we can do. Right, it's getting late. I'm hungry.
Time for dinner.
Time for dinner. Fantastic. Right, guys. Like I say, book a call if you need to.
Yeah.
I'll do check-ins on Monday as normal, and we've got another call. It's the last one before Christmas next week.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it will
Yeah.
be. Oh my Lord. I need to do some Christmas shopping.
2 weeks to Christmas. That's it. I'm sorry, I've mentioned the C word. Um, but yeah, I'm smug because I've wrapped all the presents.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Not me.
No. All right then, guys. We'll speak to you soon. And until then, it's bye from us.
Bye.